The day her mother called her a burden in front of the entire village, something shifted in the air. It happened in the market square, beneath the scorching sun, where traders arranged tomatoes in pyramids and goats wandered freely between wooden stalls. Women who had known her since childhood stood close enough to hear every word. They did not pretend to mind their business. Her name was Amara. She was quiet, too quiet, they said, slow with her chores, always lost in thought. In a village where noise was proof of life, her silence was suspicious. Her mother pointed at her in the middle of the market. "Look at her, 23 years old and nothing to show." The laughter spread quickly. Her older brother added fuel. "She moves like someone carrying the world on her head, but brings nothing home." Even the pepper seller shook her head in agreement. Amara did not defend herself. She held the basket tighter and stared at the ground. What they did not know was that silence can be preparation. That evening, her father sealed the humiliation. "If you cannot help this family," he said, "do not drag us down." No one asked what she had been doing every night with the small borrowed phone she hid beneath her wrapper. No one imagined she had been teaching herself skills the village had never heard of. And no one suspected that by the end of the year, the same market would whisper her name for a different reason. But first, she had to leave. The real disgrace happened on a Sunday. In the small village church, under a zinc roof that amplified every cough, the pastor preached about productivity, about children who lift their parents out of poverty. Her mother stood during testimony time. "Pray for my daughter," she announced loudly. "She refuses to shine." Murmurs filled the church. Some nodded in pity, others smirked. The pastor called Amara forward. She walked slowly to the altar, heart pounding, eyes fixed ahead. The pastor placed his hand on her head and declared that laziness was a spirit that must leave. The congregation responded with a loud amen. Amara said nothing, but that night she packed a small bag. At dawn, before the cock crowed, she left the compound without drama. The family did not search for her immediately. They believed she would crawl back before hunger humbled her. 3 months passed, then 6. No call, no message, no sign. Until one afternoon, a rumor reached the village from the nearby town. Someone had seen a young woman who looked exactly like Amara stepping out of a training center, speaking confident English, carrying a laptop. Her brother dismissed it. Impossible, that one cannot even argue properly. He had no idea she had been working 2 jobs, learning digital marketing at night and sleeping barely 4 hours. He had no idea companies abroad had started paying her in dollars. The village still thought she was struggling. They were wrong. But the real twist had not even started. Back home, things worsened. Her father borrowed heavily to expand his small farm. The harvest failed twice. Creditors began visiting the compound. The same neighbors who once laughed now whispered, "Where is that quiet daughter now?" Her mother avoided eye contact in the market. Pride was expensive and it was draining fast. One evening, a creditor stood at their gate and shouted loud enough for everyone to hear, "If you cannot pay, we will take this land." That land had been in the family for generations. Her brother tried to act strong, but fear was written all over him. That night, her father said something he never thought he would say. "Maybe we judged her too harshly." The next morning, a black car entered the village. Children chased it. Dust rose behind it. Every head turned. When the door opened, Amara stepped out. Well-dressed, composed, different. She did not look like someone returning in defeat. She looked like someone returning with purpose. But nobody knew why she had really come back. She walked straight into the compound without greeting the crowd. Her mother froze. Her brother stood speechless. Her father gripped his walking stick tighter. Amara greeted them respectfully, then placed a thick envelope on the wooden bench. Inside were bank documents and proof of payment. Every debt cleared. Not partially, completely. The same land that creditors threatened to seize was now fully secured. Silence filled the compound. This time, it was not the awkward silence of shame, it was the heavy silence of realization. Her brother tried to speak first. "How?" She explained calmly. Remote contracts, international clients, years of quiet work, investments, discipline. Every night they mocked her for staying indoors. She had been building something none of them understood. The village that once laughed now gathered at the gate. The same pepper seller who shook her head months ago stared in disbelief. The pastor visited that evening. "This is God's doing," he declared. Amara smiled politely, but she did not reveal the final truth yet, because the biggest twist was not the money. It was what she planned next. 2 days later, she called a family meeting. She announced she would rebuild the farm using modern methods. She would sponsor her younger cousin's education. She would repair the leaking church roof. The villagers clapped. But then she said something that silenced everyone again. "I will not stay here." Confusion spread. She explained that success does not erase wounds. Forgiveness did not require relocation. She would support them, but from a distance. Her mother began to cry. For the first time, she admitted something difficult. "We were ashamed of what we did not understand." Amara nodded. The truth was simple. In many homes, the quiet child is misunderstood. Silence is mistaken for weakness. Reflection is mistaken for laziness. But growth does not always make noise. Sometimes, the slowest person in the room is simply building something others cannot see yet. As her car drove away again, the same market that once mocked her stood still. This time, nobody laughed. And somewhere in that village, a young girl who had also been called Sluggish watched closely. Because now she knew. Silence could be strategy. Rejection could be fuel. And the person you disgrace today might become the one who saves you tomorrow. The stone the builder rejected often becomes the chief cornerstone.